the Republican Party must become much more socially tolerant. That is, in order to attract younger people into the party, it must speak to younger folks, on issues like, LGBT rights, even abortion rights. I'm not asking the party to take a position. I'm just saying, just to at least accept a diversity of views on some issues like that. The party's also going to have to come up with an agenda on climate change. Complaining about the Green New Deal is not enough. You have to come out with your own policy. So social tolerance, I think, is important. And again, in the era of Trump, when you have a president who makes racially and ethnically inflammatory and incendiary statements about various people of color, Muslims, and others, again, that shows that the party is not welcoming and, in fact, hostile in some cases. So the party, again, social tolerance is I'd say, the first pillar that I would embrace going forward. Another thing the party needs to do is become much more constructively engaged on the international scale. In the era of Trump, if Trumpism can be defined as like 3 or 4 isms: protectionism, isolationism, nativism, unilateralism, and maybe a touch of nihilism. I think, again, this has harmed the Republican Party, because it seems on the international stage we've said that we're going to go it alone, America alone, and that America, above all else, should look out for its own interests. But at the same time, I think we can make a very strong case that we can advance American national interests through multilateral organizations like NATO and others, or a Trans-Pacific Partnership, or there are a number of ways we can do this. And I think in the era of Trump, we've taken this go it alone approach, or America alone approach, that has isolated America in many respects. So we need to get back to a more traditional, conventional foreign policy where we embrace allies and build coalitions to advance our interests. And that's what separates America from, say, Russia or China, where we actually have allies, real allies all over the world. And those countries don't. So I think that's something I would make the second pillar: constructive engagement on the international stage. Third thing I would focus on would be a party that does embrace free markets. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about returning to 1850 or the 1920s, but free markets with reasonable rules and regulations, as a contrast to Democrats, who tend to have more of a statist approach to many problems. It will immediately, turn to government for a solution for whatever the issue is. So those are the few of the things I would do to make the party more welcoming. Now, the question will be, after this election, and if President Trump were to lose, we'll see. We'll see which direction the party goes. I do fear that some will say after the election that, yeah, okay, if Trump loses, well, yeah, we knew he was kind of a little crazy. He was way out there. But what he stood for on a policy basis was where we should be, and we should embrace this more. And I would argue that is not the right approach. I don't think a great nation like ours, is going to be successful if we, again, embrace those isms of isolationism, protectionism, nativism. That is not a way to grow a party or to make a country better.